What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe. Welcome to the 459th edition of CSR Live, daily dose of red truth, wisdom, and awareness. Let's go ahead and get right to it. I've sold a lot of cars in my life. I've sold cars on many different occasions. I've had a lot of sales jobs, and of course, as any journeyman, any lifelong salesperson has had a few stints selling cars. This is just part of how it is. And, I've sold new cars, I've sold used cars, I've sold luxury cars, everything in between. I've sold Hondas, Dodges, Toyotas, Audis, Chevys, Fords. I've sold them all. A common conflict that occurs, specifically with male car buyers, is that inner struggle between what they want versus what they actually need. As men, we want fast, beautiful cars, right? We want the sleek aerodynamic style that all sports cars have. We want that engine that's going to roar when we hit the gas pedal. We want a car that goes from 0 to 60 in like 2.5 seconds. You guys get the idea. But what a man wants in a car isn't always necessarily what he actually needs, right? What most men need out of a car is a low car payment, low insurance, reliability, safety, great fuel mileage, and of course a great warranty. Let's take a look at a couple of car models that I used to sell. I'll take this one as an example: the Dodge Viper and the Dodge Stratus. Let's compare the Dodge Viper versus the Dodge Stratus, because I've sold both of those before on the same car lot. Ilderton Dodge in High Point, North Carolina, way back in the day. Well, the Dodge Viper is clearly the more aesthetically pleasing car. It's faster, the engine is superior, it's obviously a chick magnet. But the car payment is going to be extremely high. The insurance is going to be expensive, and it has terrible gas mileage. The 03 Viper, if I'm not mistaken, I think it got like 13 miles to the gallon in the city, maybe 20 on the highway, if you're lucky. Now, listen, let's not mistake anything here. The Dodge Viper is a gorgeous machine, guys. It's fast, it's beautiful, sounds like a monster when you rev it up. Turns a lot of heads, namely female heads. But there's an extremely high price to be paid. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really have anything to do with what you actually need in a car, other than maybe reliability. And even then, if you open up the engine more than you need to, which is a temptation in and of itself when you're driving a car like that, you're going to have engine trouble, which reduces its reliability. Plus, you add to the fact that parts and repair for the Dodge Viper, absolutely ridiculous, guys. You are spending 4 figures every time you bring a Dodge Viper in. Again, Ilderton Dodge, High Point, North Carolina. If you don't believe me, call them up and ask them. Hey, I need a fuel injector for an 03 Dodge Viper. It's going to be 4 figures. The Dodge Stratus, however, isn't anywhere near as gorgeous as the Viper, but it is a good-looking car. It's decent-looking. You're not going to turn heads like the Viper would, but you're not going to get any accusations of driving a beat-up junk bucket either. The Dodge Stratus is a much safer car than the Viper, because if you get in an accident in a Viper, you're as good as gone. That's it. But the Stratus is far more likely to keep you alive. The car payments for a Dodge Stratus will be a fraction of the car payment for the Dodge Viper, and oh, by the way, so is the insurance. Every man wants to drive a Viper, and for a short-term fling, it's really not a bad option, right? Maybe you lease it for a year or two and then you return it, but it is never, ever a good idea to finance a Viper over 72 months, and plenty of men have made this mistake, right? A Dodge Viper is not a viable long-term option. The smarter choice, of course, is the Dodge Stratus. It's much better for us in the long term. You'll have paid off the car before the warranty runs out. You'll save thousands in insurance. It's far more reliable. Doesn't cost as much to repair, if you even have to do that. Cars are like women, gentlemen. We all want the hot wife. We all want the hot girlfriend. But the truth of the matter is that they, hot women, they're not good for long-term relationships. Unless she was raised on a farm without the internet, or she was raised in an Amish village, girls who have extremely high sexual market value almost always have extremely low relationship market value. in this environment, in 2019, the things that make women sexually attractive are the same things that reduce their relationship market value. The things that raise her sexual market value lower her relationship market value. Take a look at any Instagram model's comments, and there is no shortage of men gassing these women up, saying things like "wifey material," "will you marry me," right? "I love you." Most men foolishly believe that a woman who looks good will also make a good significant other. Nothing could be further from the truth, guys. And these men make the same mistake in the real world. They grab the hottest girl they can find, thinking that they've got the holy grail because she said she was traditional. But then they're devastated when she cheats on them with three different guys in 3 weeks after she told them she loved him. What a man wants in a woman isn't necessarily what we need in a woman. Just like cars. Again, the Dodge Stratus, it's not a Dodge Viper. Not even close. The Viper has far more sexual appeal than the Stratus. But the Stratus has far more relationship market value, if you will, which makes it the better choice for the long term. Men need to start, we need to start approaching relationships in the same way. It's hard, I know. Trust me. I've made this mistake many times before. I have financed that Dodge Viper 5 or 6 times, and it has burned me every single time. My car was either repossessed by another man, or I ended up just taking her back to the lot. And the way to put yourself in an advantageous position in terms of making the right decision on which women you'll potentially commit to starts with distinguishing the difference between sexual market value and relationship market value. So let's take a look at a few different categories. Let's start with attractiveness. Obviously, a woman that you're going to commit to, she's got to be sexually attractive. If she is not sexually attractive, we are not interested, bottom line. But, this is a big but. You must sacrifice looks if you want to be in a good long-term relationship. I'm going to say it again. If you want a good long-term relationship, you must sacrifice looks. Every man dreams of marrying a 9 or 10, guys. Every man dreams of having a kid with a 9 or 10. Right? Every man dreams of being married to a 9 or a 10 for 20, having that fairy tale thing. Guys, I'm here to tell you, 9s and 10s, they're community property. 9s and 10s belong to the game. Not only that, thanks to today's, how can I put this? Thanks to today's cesspool of thirst and monetization of female beauty in the short term, a lot more 9s and 10s are working in the sex industry on varying levels, right? And listen, when I say work in the sex industry, that doesn't necessarily mean they're all having sex for money. No, there are varying degrees. Most 9s and 10s are cam girls, right? A lot of 9s and 10s are Instagram models. Take it a little lower, you got 9s and 10s charging $5 to see their nipples. Charging $5 or $10, $15, maybe $20 for complete nudes. Then you go down another level. Now you've got your cocktail waitresses. Cocktail waitresses are basically strippers in training. You go one step lower, now you've got your escorts, your glorified call girls. You go a little bit lower, now you've got your strippers. Then you go to prostitution. And then, of course, you get all the way down to the porn star. Think about all of the amateur porn out there where you don't see the faces or recognize the actresses. Just girls who aren't porn stars, right? The 9s and 10s of the world who aren't porn stars, but they've done amateur porn. A lot of guys, I'm telling you, a lot of these girls have done this stuff once or twice. But because their faces are rarely seen, or they do maybe 1 or 2 videos, most men don't recognize them, right? Who knows? A 9 or 10 that you're dating, she might have something on porn.com or something like that. You just never know. Guys, I've been around so many strippers. I've been around so many cocktail waitresses who just admitted out loud, yeah, I did some amateur porn. I did 2 or 3 videos. I'm like, are you kidding me? And are you serious? Yeah, it's no big deal. Nobody's going to find out who I am. I just did a couple of videos. I'm not in any category. Hot blonde with big boobs. Look at thousands of videos. I did one or two. They're not going to find me needle in a haystack. And if they find it, I'll just deny it. Yeah, that's some other girl. We all look alike, right? You can never find these, but they are there. Here's another downside to wifing up or committing to 9s and 10s. 9s and 10s only sleep with the highest value men, guys. If she does, listen, by the time she's done on the high value male carousel, she's not settling. She's not settling for low value men. If she does settle for low value men, it's probably because she's bored and she's still looking for the alpha she used to sleep with. This is when and why they cheat. Oh my God, this girl is a hard 10. This girl is 28 years old. She's a hard 10. She wants to have my kids. Everything is great. Dude, she's totally out of your league. And for the record, a woman is never really out of a man's league. But because of that thirsty mentality, most men think this. They internalize this. Girls sense that, and they automatically place their value above the guy. And of course, no woman wants to be committed to a man whose perceived value is lower than hers. This is why they cheat. 9s and 10s, I've said this before. 9s and 10s are useless because they've never had to be useful. I use the Michael Vick comparison all the time. Michael Vick he's the most electrifying college football player I've ever seen. We've all seen his highlights. He's always the fastest player on the field. When he got to the NFL, he was still the fastest player on the field. Great football player, but he never really learned to read defenses because he never really had to. Then he got popped for dogfighting. Then he went to prison for 2 years. And when he got out of prison, we signed him here in Philadelphia, and he was still fast, but he wasn't quite as fast, right? Linebackers are starting to catch him now. Defensive ends are starting to catch him now. Vic realized this. So what did he do? He learned to read defenses. And in 2010, Michael Vick probably had his most complete year in the NFL, both running and throwing. It's the same thing when hot girls hit the wall. Holy smokes. Hot girls get out of prison, right? They're still better looking than most, but the high value men that used to knock down doors to be with them, they're not really knocking down the doors to be with them anymore. Maybe for a one night stand or two. But they're not getting those commitment offers like she was when she was 22. Marry me, you'll live in a castle. You'll never want for anything. They're not getting those offers anymore. So all of a sudden now they got to learn how to cook. They got to learn how to clean. They got to learn how to be presentable. They have to learn how to have conversations. 9s and 10s, they get everything handed to them just because they look good. They get attention. They get dinners. They get drinks. They get their bills paid, their rent paid, their car payments paid. Then you have your sugar babies. Why learn anything? Honestly, if you get all of those things just for looking the way you look, what motivation is there to improve yourself? Why work for something that you're already getting for free? It just doesn't make any sense. A lot of guys say, oh, 9s and 10s are useless because they've never had to be useful. Guys, if I were a girl and I were a 9 or 10, I would probably be useless too. I'm not going to work for something. Why am I going to work for something that somebody is giving me for free? That makes no sense. No sense at all. Let's use Devin as an example. A lot of guys say, oh my God, Devin is hot. Oh, she is wifey. Listen, let's slow your roll. Devin is an HB7. That is the rating. She's a 7. Okay? Her body is an 8. Her face, she's a 6. Right? On the worst day, Devin is a 6 with no makeup. Maybe 7, 7.5 with makeup. This is how we get the rating of a 7. You 6 in the face, 8 in the body, put those together. You get 14. You divide that by 2, you get 7. Devin's body is an 8 on her worst day, a hard 9 on her best day. Her face is, like I said, her face is normally a 6, maybe a 7, 7.5 if she's made up. Maybe she's a little higher, depending upon what she's wearing. But get this, gentlemen. If she were an overall 8, right? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that she's a 7 in the face and had the body of a 9, she'd make a terrible girlfriend. I'd never be able to tame her. Guys, it's hard enough as it is. I tell guys this all the time. The reason Devin is in line is, of course, because of my game. It's because of my hardline personality, my red pill conditioning, etc., etc. But the other reason is because of her age. I met Devin when she was 32. If I had met Devin when she was 22, there's no way we would be together. It just wouldn't happen. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I could have tamed her if she was 22 years old. Hell no. Not a chance. Listen, I might be able to tame her for a little while, but eventually she'd go feral, as all 8s, 9s, and 10s eventually do. Even though Devin is still just a 7, she still gets looks. Guys are looking at her up and down everywhere we go, man. You can't hide her huge boobs. You can't hide that great ass, even in sweats and baggy shirts. Doesn't matter. Now, when we go out on dates and she's dressed to the 9s, dude, men and women look her up and down. Imagine for just a second, if she looked like that everywhere she went. Imagine if everywhere she went, both men and women would look her up and down. Listen, we all know of a woman who is so beautiful she gets the attention of men. But if a woman gets the attention of men and women, watch out. That's what it would be like if Devin were an 8. You must sacrifice looks if you want to be in a good long-term relationship. I'll say it backwards. If you want to be in a good long-term relationship, you must sacrifice looks. There are no two ways about it. Don't look for an 8 or a 9 or a 10 to be in a relationship with. Don't look for a 9 or a 10 to wife up. Your sweet spot is a 6 or a 7. The 6s and 7s aren't 9s and 10s, but every girl has that one trait that makes her irresistible, that makes her extremely sexually attractive, even though she's maybe a 6 or a 7. Maybe she's got a great ass, right? Great tits, great legs. Maybe she's a 6, but she's got the ass of an 8, right? Maybe she's a 7, but she has the boobs of a 9. But never, ever, ever settle down with an overall 8, a 9, or a 10. Maybe, just maybe, the occasional 8, if she might have been an ugly duckling, but dude, not even then. Even then, she will realize what her sexual market value is, and at some point, she's going to go feral just like all 8s, 9s, and 10s eventually do. Devin's ass is an 8, her tits are an 8, and her legs are a 9, so I'm fortunate there. But her face being a 6, coupled with her advanced age, she's 35 years old, that keeps her in check, at least for now. Gentlemen, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell your family, tell anyone you know about my channel. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. Also, sign up for my newsletter at donovansharpe.com/newsletter. I'm putting that in the chat now. That is donovansharpe.com/newsletter. And if you want exclusive content that isn't found anywhere on YouTube or anywhere else, social media, sign up for my Patreon. That is patreon.com/DonovanSharpe. Later today, I'm releasing a video from the archives called 13 Ways Black Women Can Improve Themselves to Make Themselves Attractive to Black Men Again. That was one of the many videos that was lost on YouTube when I got my channel shut down. So I'm going to put that on there again. Jonathan from Modern Life Dating is texting me. I don't know why people wait until I'm on the air to text or call. It just never makes sense. Never makes sense. Patreon.com/DonovanSharpe. Big thanks goes out to Thaddeus Scott with the $2 super chat. Says, using those feminism bait scenarios exposes value. Very good. Freelance Ronan with the $5 super chat says, 9s and 10s end up nuttier than Planters Snack Food Company. Listen, man, I have slept with my share of 9s and 10s, and I've dated more than I care to admit. They are a headache. They're a headache. You guys, listen, man, listen. I've never shown Devin, I've shown parts of Devin's face, but nobody will really know what Dev looks like unless you come to the 21 convention. Devin's, yeah, she's above average. Listen, she's not ugly, but she's above average, right? Decent face, right? Maybe a 6. But people see her body, they're like, oh my God, she's a 9. She's no. Devin is not a 10. She's a 7. And that's the only reason why I was able to tame her. If Dev had the body of some, if Dev had the face of some of the girls that I was banging down in Vegas, wouldn't be together. Not a chance. Listen, I'd sleep with her for a while, but I would never have committed. I would never have committed. All right, let's continue. Let's compare a few more ways, a few more differences between sexual market value girls, high SMV girls, and high relationship market value girls. The way she dresses. High sexual market value girls, they dress hot. They look good in everything. High sexual market values, the 9s and 10s of the world, they show cleavage at work. They even show cleavage at church if they go. They show cleavage everywhere. They look good in everything. They wear form-fitting clothes because they're always advertising. This is just how they do it. Remember, 9s and 10s get everything handed to them just for looking good. They don't want the gravy train to stop, so why are they going to try to hide their features? 9s and 10s wear leggings to show off their legs and butts. They wear low-cut shirts to show off their cleavage. Now, on dates, this is great, right? She looks good. All the dudes are envying you. And when you get home, you bang her brains out, right? The downside to that is like I said, she is always advertising her goods. The for sale sign is always on. The transponder is always on, guys. And if she advertises long enough, eventually she's going to start to get some offers. And at some point, she's going to get an offer better than yours. This is just how it goes, man. Listen, you guys got to understand. It doesn't matter how high your value is. There are guys out there that have higher value than you do. And if you are dating a 9 or a 10, the higher value guys are eventually going to find their way to your girl. This is just how it is. I don't care if you're worth 7 figures. I don't care if you have an 8-inch. I don't care if you're worth 7 figures, you have an 8-inch cock, and you live in a 9-bedroom house, and you date a 10. Guess what? Somebody who's worth 8 figures has a 9-inch dick and has a 10-bedroom house is going to find your woman if she's a 10. If she's a 6 or a 7, those guys aren't really going to make their way to your girl because they're looking for the 9s and 10s. That's how this works. No matter what, I don't care how much game you have. I don't care how much money you have. It doesn't matter. If you are with a 9 or a 10, eventually she is going to upgrade. It might take her a little while, but she's never going to stop looking to upgrade. This is just how they are, guys. This doesn't make them good or bad. This just makes them women. This, again, 9s and 10s belong to the game, guys. I say it in my introduction famously, a woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn, especially 9s and 10s. I'm here to tell you. I speak from personal experience with this stuff. Listen, if you're just sleeping with her, if you're with a 9 or a 10, if you're just friends with benefits, if you're just sleeping with her, that's fine. But a 9 or a 10 is not good for a long-term relationship. Let's take a look at high relationship market value girls with regards to the way they dress. High relationship market. Red Band Group. High RMV girls, high relationship market value girls, she dresses hot, but only for you. Right? Only for you. Tonight, listen. Devin is wearing these right here. Let me see if I can get it in front of the white. She can barely walk in these. This is what Devin's wearing tonight. She's wearing these. She's wearing some pink hoop earrings. She's wearing this little miniature white see-through bralette. No panties. Maybe a choker. I'm going to pound her into submission. She doesn't dress like... Now, that's obviously an extreme, right? But when Devin goes to work, she's not dressed like she's going out on a date. High sexual market value girls always look like they're going out for a night on the town. Where are you going all dressed up? I'm going to work. What? No, not high RMV girls. She doesn't advertise her goods unless she's around you. Right? Like I said, when Devin goes to work, she wears jeans. She wears t-shirts and sneakers to work. Every once in a while, she'll wear leggings just because she says they're more comfortable. I'm sure they are. Listen, man, there's nothing I can do about that. Guys are going to look at her ass. That's fine. Whatever. There's nothing I can do about that. Right? She can't hide her boobs. That's fine. That's not her fault. But she always makes sure when she is wearing leggings that she covers her butt with her shirt. If she can't, she makes an effort. Now, when she's at home, she's showing all kinds of skin, all kinds of cleavage. Even on days when I don't make her dress like a stripper, she has these little short dresses she likes to wear around the house. They're comfortable, but they're still sexy. I can still see her. I can still see her boobs. I can still see her cleavage. I can still see those long, slender, muscular, sexy legs. Like, shows off her ass. When she's at work, she shows maybe 5% of her skin. When she's at home, only 5% of her skin is covered. Of course, that's tongue in cheek, but you guys get the idea. If a woman advertises the goods all the time, that's high sexual market value. But she's not good for a long-term relationship, guys. And if that's the case, her relationship market value goes way down. Let's take a look at cooking skills. This is, again, SMV versus RMV, sexual market value versus relationship market value. High sexual market value girls rarely know how to cook. Most of them have remedial cooking skills. Most of them can make grilled cheese. Maybe. Some of them can microwave soup. I dated one stripper who made a mean peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Just basic stuff. Right? Dude, one girl said to me tongue in cheek. She wasn't a stripper, but she was a cocktail waitress, I think, who later became a stripper. I dated her. She actually, as far as I know, she didn't cheat on me. She probably did. She dumped me, by the way. It's just how it goes. She's like, listen, I can't cook, but I'm a pro at ordering in. That was her pickup line for me. That was actually quite funny. Right? High sexual market value girls rarely know how to cook because they've never had to know how to cook. They get the best men have to offer without having to have those skills other than the way they look. High relationship market value girls have way above average culinary faculty. She doesn't have to be a Michelin star chef, but she has to know how to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner at home from scratch. They always look to hone their cooking skills. Listen, Devin can cook. Devin can, listen, if you guys are a $12 patron of mine, go and check out Devin's meals. You guys can go check out the Wayback Machine on social media. Devin cooks very, very well. She loves to cook. She's always trying new recipes. High sexual market value girls either have little to no cooking skills. High relationship market value girls have above average to exemplary cooking skills. Let's go to treatment. Let's go to the way they treat you. High sexual market value girls, they can be selfless and they can treat you well. But most of the time, it never really lasts that long. High sexual market value girls, 9s and 10s, they treat you very, very well during the honeymoon period, which lasts for about 2 weeks. But then after that, it tapers off pretty substantially. After about a month, the fall is precipitous. It's pretty obvious. Now, high sexual market value girls do sometimes treat you very badly. Not all of them, but they treat you badly at a much higher percentage than high relationship market value girls. Even if they don't treat you badly, even if the 9s and the 10s of the world don't treat you badly, they get to the point where you are no longer their mental point of origin. And if you are not her mental point of origin, then she cannot be in a long-term relationship with you. That's how it is. High relationship market value girls are very different. The 6s and 7s, she likes doing things to make you happy. The 6 puts you first in any and all situations. She puts your needs before her own. Devin does this to a fault, and sometimes I have to stop her, right? She'll dress in slutty heels and micro thong and lipstick and heels and all this other kind of stuff because she loves watching me drool when she walks out. Guys, it's uncomfortable to wear those clothes. She doesn't always feel like doing it. Devin soldiers up. Devin has high relationship market value. She is a 6. This is why she does this. The high relationship market value girl is unselfish in bed. She gives you unbelievable blowjobs. She swallows all of your load. She doesn't bitch and moan about not getting orgasms. Right? She doesn't care about her needs in bed. High relationship market value girls, they understand that a woman's satisfaction is directly tied to your satisfaction. High relationship market value girls, they might not like it, but they will let you do anal sex. Anal sex is uncomfortable at best, painful at worst. Swallowing a man's semen isn't really a turn on for most women. It's warm, it's sticky, it's slimy, it's salty. Doesn't really taste very well. Depending upon a man's diet, it tastes pretty bad. But she does it because she wants to please you. She is selfless, as opposed to the selfish, high relationship market value girl. Now, keep in mind, I don't care what her rating is, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. 6s and 7s don't just do this for anybody. She won't do this just because you have a dick and 2 balls and you're sleeping with her. Oh, no. You have to be what she wants and what she needs. She has to want to be unselfish. And women only want to be unselfish to masculine, dominant men. Not beta bitch boys, guys. Listen, just because she's a 6 or a 7 does not mean that her masculine standards are any lower. 9s and 10s might have higher aesthetic standards. 9s and 10s might require a guy that's a little taller, a little more square-jawed, might be a little more ripped. Okay, fair enough, right? She knows her sexual market value, but guess what? 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s, they all need that masculinity. If you are the right kind of man, if you are high value, if you keep her in line, if you are steadfast in your beliefs, she will be unselfish to a fault. And unselfish females make the best girlfriends and wives. It may taper off after a little bit. They're human. But they will keep it up. These are the 6s and 7s of the world. It is Thursday, May 30th, rather, 2019, on the 459th edition of TSR Live with Donovan Sharpe. Again, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to sign up for my newsletter and become a Patreon if you want more exclusive content. Like I said, later today, I'll be releasing a video from the Lost Files called 13 Changes Black Women Need to Make to Become Attractive to Black Women Again. That'll be available to all patrons only, because that cannot be found on YouTube anywhere, nor will it ever be again. Let's shout out my super chats. Big thanks goes to Richard Alexander with the $10 super chat. Boy, this chair is chafing the bottom of my legs. I'm just wearing boxers today, guys. I'm just wearing boxers. It's a little hot in here. I forgot to turn on the AC. So, Richard Alexander with the $10 super chat says, my ex was a 7 in the beginning, but towards the end began using hot makeup and clothing and went to an 8 or a 9. I had a hunch it wasn't for me, even though she claimed it was. Any tips on how to handle this in the future? It's good that you're understanding, Richard, and you answered your own question, okay? You had a hunch it isn't for you, even though she claimed it was. Bruh, her dressing up in makeup and all this other hot clothes, that ain't for you, homie. If she wasn't doing that in the beginning, if she wasn't doing that for you in the beginning, she's not going to do that for you now. That's just how it is. Now, it's possible that she could be doing it for you, right? Let's say that she was a 7 in the beginning, and 2 years into the relationship, you decide to get on TRT, you get ripped, you start dressing better, and in turn, she says, oh, okay, Richard is starting to increase his sexual market value, let me increase mine. But me thinks that you haven't increased your sexual market value. So, and because your woman is increasing her sexual market value through no action or default of your own, it's not for you. So if you've been increasing your sexual market value and she starts to increase it, you're good. But if she all of a sudden starts dressing hotter, makeup, a lot of women start smoking to lose weight, that is absolutely not for you. Here's how to handle that in the future. And again, Richard, I appreciate the $10 super chat. Appreciate the support. If you guys want to contribute to the show, streamlabs.com/Donovan Sharpe. Again, that's streamlabs.com/Donovan Sharpe and the number 1. The way to handle that in the future is to make sure that she looks her best when she is alone with you. When you go out on dates, and you, listen, Richard, you have to set this. This is a precedent you have to set, okay? Dude, I told Devin this when we first started talking. I said, listen, when I take you out, okay, you're not going to be dressed like you're going to the grocery store. Oh, no. No. You are going, and I told her this. I said, you are going to dress as though you are auditioning for the next date. If I don't like what happens on this date, there's not going to be another date. So what did Devin wear on our first date? A really, really hot dress, hot heels, her hair was done. It's like she bathed in pheromones. I pounded the piss out of her. Guess what? Devin got a second date. Then she got a third date and a fourth date, and now we live together. Never, ever, ever compromise your standards when it comes to a woman. If a woman doesn't dress to the nines for you, she doesn't feel like you're worth it. That's not her fault. That's on you. The reason why Devin dresses the way she does for me and only for me is because, at least for the time being, I'm worth it. If I get fat, if I get lazy, guess what? She may stay looking good, but she's not going to do that for me. So the two things you need to do is you need to either increase or maintain your high value, number one. Number two, demand her best. If you guys are just hanging out at her place or your place, and she's just walking around in sweats, like, where are we at the grocery store? Are we at the gym? Go show some skin. Go put on, listen, I want to see some skin. Like, I'm not sleeping with you. I'm not sleeping with you looking like that. Oh my God, what do you mean? Go change, sweetie. Well, I don't have anything. I'll be right back. You run to Victoria's Secret or wherever? Here, put this on. But we're not having sex yet. Not yet, we're not. Right? You got to be, and listen, if a girl flinches, oh my God, I can't believe that. Guess what, bruh? That's not the girl for you. Or you're not the guy for her. If you are worth it to a woman, she will move heaven and earth to keep you sexually interested. That's how this works. Good question there by Richard Alexander. Gerard, let's see, Pasinos with the $2 super chat says, solid Roosh interview yesterday. Check it out, guys. I appreciate it, man. Listen, man, I've known Roosh for a long time. He's a good dude, man. He really is. I like talking to him. It was a great show that I had with him yesterday. Listen, he was honest with me. He laid bare his soul. He was. But one thing I like about Roosh is that he's never going to be dishonest with you. He's going to tell you exactly what's on his mind. He's not going to try to mislead you. He's not going to try to hustle. He's going to say, look, man, like it or not, this is my decision. A lot of people thought he was full of shit because he renounced pickup artistry and decided that he found God. I said, explain yourself, and he did, man. And he made a very, very good case for himself. I have no reason to believe that he is not being genuine with his new lifestyle. Shout out to Jonathan Plowman with the $5 super chat. Says, thanks for what you do. Marley Marr with the $5 super chat says, great show. Appreciate that. So I'm going to continue to compare high sexual market value girls to high relationship market value girls. And I'm going to compare them as far as money. I'm going to compare them in 4 other categories: money, submissiveness, behavior that is conducive to infidelity, and their families. This is relationship market value girls versus versus sexual market value girls. The 9s and 10s of the world versus the 6s and 7s of the world. But I'm not going to do that here. I'm going to do that on my private stream. So if you want access to that private stream, go to Donovan Sharpe/live. Again, that's Donovan Sharpe/live. Okay, there it is. I'm putting it in the chat right now. That's DonovanSharpe.com/live. Donovan Sharpe/live. Jesus. That's www.DonovanSharpe.com/live. So if you guys want to watch the rest of the show, be sure to go over there. And while I shrink the audience, I'm going to... Thought I saw a couple of other super chats in here. Richard Alexander says, thanks. Yeah, I always appreciate you guys supporting the show, man. A lot of times my videos aren't monetized just because it's me. And the super chats definitely make sure that I keep it going. So, all right, again, DonovanSharpe.com/live. Again, www.DonovanSharpe.com/live. If you want to watch the rest of the show, those of you on Patreon, stay put. I'll see you guys in just a minute. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the other side.